Okay, this is Q&A with Kim Book Class Part 2, June 18th, 2020. If you don't see the live box up in the one of the corners, could be the bottom corner, you are watching the replay. Feel free to watch the replay. So now let's bring Kim in. She's not on yet. There she is. Okay. Add. Move over so we have room for Kim on the other side of the screen. So this is adding part 2. There she is.
Hey, I'm back.
Okay, so I'm still pixelating. You're still pixelating.
Right.
Terry says it's much better.
Yep. Yeah, and it looks much better. Sometimes we're just going to have to reset. So we'll lead straight into this. Everyone, how many we've got on board? As soon as everyone catches on. That's right. And I'm just trying to get the chat up on the side here.
Okay, so we both look good right now.
All right, so let's go, and then anybody who can catch up can do. So we're about to reveal. I still can't find it on the side here. So we're about to reveal. So we got 16.
Okay, everybody says we look a lot better. So just to revisit the question.
Yep.
What base metal is closest in color to 960 and 999? Susan said, just don't move too fast. So that's a question. What base metal is closest in color to 960? We'll start with that. And that is
960 is, which is the Snow White Copper, which I have got here. So it's the closest. Oh, actually.
Oh
no.
Here we go.
You've got
Snow White Copper.
Because I haven't got one. Snow White Copper. Yes, the Snow White Copper is the closest to a 960.
Which, by the way, shameless plug, I still have them on sale for $15 a pack. I think Cindy does too.
That's just beyond crazy. That's beyond crazy. So
okay, so what base metal is closest to in color to 999 fine silver? Go. The new clay.
Okay, all right. So I'm going to reveal the new clay. All right. So you've seen that I've been playing with. You see that I've been playing with this here. It's a new clay, and there are some reasons why. And I'll show you some pieces. This is. Let me show you. While we aren't pixelating.
That's her fired Iggy.
That's my fired Iggy. And look, all completely made out of clay, and the little tassel swings. So completely, that's not a little fining or anything. That was made out of clay, and that was made out of the same clay that you see. So write in the comments, what color do you actually think that is? Yes, 2 colors. 2 colors I have there. And so what colors do you actually see there? I'll just wait for feedback from you. Thank you for liking my Iggy. And yeah.
Is that the name?
It's Iggy is short for Italian Greyhound. So we actually, in the show ring world, we actually call it an Iggy. So
and for those that don't know, Kim spent a lot of years showing dogs.
I did. Probably about 25 to 28 years. Yeah.
So what color? She says she sees silver and gold.
Silver and gold?
Susan sees russet and silver.
Russet. That's a new one for me. I don't know russet.
I don't either, actually.
Don't know that neither. Okay. All right. So Pam, revealing is.
Wait. Pam Jones said Snow White and Ruby.
Snow White and Ruby. Okay, cool. All right, so I will just sit this down here and I'm going to do you a big reveal. The reveal of this brand new clay is a new clay, and it's called Silver Copper. All right, really, really excited about this. And it still contains the nickel in it. All right, so you've got to just be protected, wear your masks, things like that. It's more than any of the dust that you create. So this is the new clay, and this is the one I've been playing with. So this is it. That's it there, with copper, which is the copper that you all are familiar with. That's in all the stores. It's as flexible as I've been showing you. This is about 3 days.
Kim, are all of the coppers flexible like that?
Yeah, all of the clays have this that are all flexible. All of the clays,
okay.
every one of them. If you don't
and
like,
for anyone that doesn't, go ahead. That's exactly what I was going to say.
Like it, if you don't like flexibility, don't wake it up. So when you go to put it on the dryer and dry it, it will stay firm. But if you're working with it, and then that will if you roll it, then it will wake up and give you that flexibility. The more flexibility that you want, the more you roll it, and that'll re-wake up the particles within it, and give you a beautiful flex clay. It's about 3 days old. I always encourage people to use their clay if you're going to cut or do anything like that. Do it on the day that you make it, because that's then at the fresh. But this is the new clay. It's just the normal copper that you're getting now. There's no difference on that. So, but they're all flexible. But that is the copper and the new silver copper. All right. And I think it's absolutely stunning. I'm blown away. As I said, and even to make this little tiny loop for the tassel, it was will it work or not? Yeah, and so I'm absolutely delighted. I did make a couple of other things to show you to go with, and one other thing I want to show you is the only thing that the Snow White copper doesn't do, and it gives, this is the Snow White copper.
You're frozen.
There she is. Call coming.
Okay, so just to reiterate, the Snow White copper looks like 960, and the new silver copper looks like 999 fine silver.
Close to it. There's a closeness to it. I'll actually hold them both up, and I'll take a photo with them both later. So it's slightly darker. It's a darker. This is a lighter. This is a little bit darker. So let me show you. This is the This is the white. The Snow White copper, with copper. All right.
Hey, anybody that thinks that, okay, so Kim sculpted that wolf. I'm trying to get her to do a mold for us wolf people. Just saying.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So we've got a question here from Mary Beth. You got a couple. Okay. All right. So I will just keep going, and Mary Beth, this will answer your question anyway. So that's where I'm heading. All right. So I've got a test strip. As I said, everything, I always test everything. A test strip on, and look. Now, Snow White copper. While this is a Snow White copper, I haven't polished it. It's just straight out of the kiln. You bend it, it breaks. All right. You bend it, it breaks. Snow White copper. You bend it, it breaks. Silver copper bends. All right. And so that means that if you've got to manipulate something slightly, or somebody drops, it's going to more bend than rather than snap. And so that is the benefit of the new silver copper. And that's just a piece of copper. That's all. I've just done it so you've got a color difference, but that is exactly the same what I've got here. Okay, so which is
okay, and to make it clear, the other copper clays are not new. They have not changed.
Nothing's changed.
The silver copper is a new copper
Yep.
color.
Yep.
Susan, and I'm sorry, I do not know how to pronounce your last name. I'm going to go with Midi. What Kim did, she's asking on Iggy, some areas were more copper and some were more silver, two different new clays. The only new clay that she used is the silver copper. And what she did for the collar, for the actual copper, she did that in the regular copper and she clay stayed it onto that neck. So it's two different colors.
Yeah, two colors.
The only new one is the silver copper. And
Yep.
I have the silver copper on a pre-sale in the shop, Aussie Metal Clay USA, and I think, I'm not positive, Cindy, if you're still here, do you have it up as a pre-order, as a pre-sale? She might. If not, she will.
Yeah. Okay, so they are the two colors. This is not new. This is the way it always is. So it's not new. It's just I've put them together because that's what I've used in this piece. All right. So it's I've just co-fired. Now that's the other benefit. The other benefit. As I said, I should have had the other Snow White packet here, and I don't have it. So what let me see, silver bronze. So what I've actually found is that I've done all the test strips with these and tested them, and they all co-fire. So not only, and it's really easily fired too. I'm so blown away. Thank you for the third packet. Yeah, so these all co-fired. So if you're again using the Snow White copper, and then you want to use it and you want to support it, if you've already got, say if you've got the Snow White copper, but you want a really good strong structure, but you don't want it too thick, then you can back it with the silver copper. So there's no problems with having either packets. So this will give you the support that you needed. Similar, let me say, it's a similar process that I will do, if I can find it, gold bronze and silver bronze. To give me support, I'll back it with the copper. Sorry, get that out of my brain. I'll back that with the gold bronze. So I will back my silver bronze pieces with a copper. Oh my God, I've got copper on the brain. And I'll show you here, my turtle is backed with gold bronze because I wasn't having enough support for my silver bronze. All right, so that is what I've been working on in the background, because I innovate clays, if you're new to me, and work with them so that they don't fracture. What happens is when you add clays together, they actually have a very, and it can be a very, very fine amount, and it can actually fracture, which means it gives you little splits between the two clays. There's no fracture at all with any of these clays. So you can co-fire. So that comes back then too, which is what we just had, which is what Joe's got. You can co-fire the three clays again, as I said. So if you want a really nice dark, like a probably boho type of dark color, then you would go the Snow White copper, and then you can back it. Then if you still want the silver tone all the way through it, then you can back it with the silver copper. I'm trying to get that out of my head. Where I've actually done, not that I needed to, but the backing of this is all the silver copper. There we go. Got a nice focus right through. So I created that all the way through, and so I got no fracture, because you can see there where the stone is, it's two colors. The back of it is the silver copper, and the copper is at the front. Now again, copper has a good support, but I would find that the silver copper is a fraction stronger than the actual plain copper, so than the plain copper. And but it doesn't change anything. You still get enough support with either. So I have got a couple of things that I extra want to show you. Joe, is there anything else that you want to jump in just in there? Because I'm going to do a little demo.
Yep.
Um,
Karen asked, so we can do a bezel with the new silver copper. Yes, you can.
Yes. 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 That's where I'm so excited about. That was one of the reasons why I kind of stepped in this direction, revisited. This is something that Roz and I have been talking about and have been doing testings for probably about I would say 6 to 7 years. And we've done some testings, but I always came up with it, kept snapping. I just wasn't happy with it. And then once my bezel tutorial came out, I went, Roz, now that's the time. I need to get in and do some more testings on this to see if I can get a silver bezel that can actually bend after firing. And I'm like, I'm over the moon. So I can't wait. That's my next. That's how fresh this is all is. I've made an Iggy. I've done some test strips. And obviously I've done some strips, but I have also something else I'm going to show you, which is really exciting. And I've made myself a little bracelet. I worked on this. All this is 2 colors. That's copper on the back of it. That is the silver copper again. I wouldn't do this with the Snow White copper, because if you're going to bend it or move it or something like that, then you could fracture it. But definitely with the silver copper, you can do that with. I'm just going to put it on my bench. It has been. I'm just going to put my camera just down here a little bit and show you. Hopefully that works enough. It's been on my bench, as I said. I did this all yesterday, but it's been sitting here for a while.
I'm going to interrupt you just for one
Yep.
second. Anna has a good point.
Yep.
The Snow White copper and the silver copper cannot be sent to California or to the UK. Correct. Because it has nickel.
Correct.
So at this point, any place else but those 2 places, you can get them. But Cindy nor I can send to California, and Anna can't get the white, Snow White bronze or the silver bronze in the UK because she can't have it over there.
Yep.
Why are you ruling that out, Kim? The back of your white wolf, is it hollow or solid?
Okay, because I'm going to do a little bit more work on this with you right now and show you just how easy that is. And it's been, as I said, it's been sitting idle on my bench. It's kind of got to sleep, so it's gone firm. As I said, first day working on this, day 1, rolling out and putting it all together. That's when I probably would do most of my work. Not now, but because we were doing this live, I wanted to sit it aside to show you. So also too, I've had this strip that I've been doing. So just for you guys to think a little bit outside the box for what you want to do. I'm going to wake this up.
What's the shrinkage on the coppers?
And yeah,
is it any different with silver copper?
Yeah, no. It's about the 10 to the 15%. Just kind of depends on how hot you're running your kiln. All right. Again, all I'm doing is get that out of the road. Is waking up the clay. Just move that light a little bit, and just waking up the clay because I want to show you. I have these cutters. You can get them on Amazon. You can get them in either craft store. You guys have them more available than what we do over here. Every one of my craft cutters like these are all secondhand. I couldn't afford to buy them brand new. So I'm just wedging that in upside down here, and I am just going to cut this out. So I've just punched that. I've thrown all those on. Let me show you now. Okay, so now I've got, so just think of anything that you can do with these.
And
any with these punches, yeah, yeah, my phone keeps ringing. I don't know how to stop that. So what I want to show you, I don't know how to stop that. Yeah, people wanting to talk to me. Yeah, so I've got all my little discs that I got from my cutter here. I'm hoping that you can see. You should be able to just see. I can bring that down closer. Let me see if I've got enough light. Is that better, guys? I'll put the Iggy in the background. Okay, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my clay stainer. Joe, you can see well enough? Yeah.
Yep.
All right, cool. All right, so all I'm going to do is I've just got my syringe here, and this is just how simple it is. And I'm just going to put, let me see if we get that way. Okay. I've chosen the tube, the big one, and all I'm doing is just putting a little smidge of clay stay right there. I got a little bit too much. I got a little bit heavy-handed, so I'm just sucking up some of that clay stay back in because I don't really need that much. And all I'm doing is just popping my dots in there. Don't get it on your fingers. There. Keep your fingers dry. And there. As I said, keep your fingers nice and dry. Keep that tap down. Leave it on your bench. Don't put it on your dehydrator for about, I always say 2 to 3 minutes, but if you've got 5 or 10 minutes, then just let it on your bench. Because what that's going to do now is pull itself together and get a real good bond. If you dry up the clay stay before it's had a chance to bond, it's not going to have a really good, successful join because it did not get that bond that it needs between the two clays. So that's a piece of copper. That's copper I just cut. So that's a copper strip. You can do the same with this is the strip of the silver. You can do this with every clay, all right? That's been the aim, all right? Look at that. I've got all of those. How about a fancy bracelet would you like? Oh, yeah. Keep going along and making that so you could actually double side that if you chose to. Yeah, so that is the silver copper. That was the copper. I've just added the little discs with the copper, so now I can co-fire this into a nice little bracelet. And that's pretty much how simple that is. Any other questions there, Joe? I think I showed you enough. I think that's pretty good on that day, and then I'll start talking about the Superflex as well, because that's what today was really about. But it's a load of stuff today. We've got a load of stuff on.
You are pixelating real bad again and freezing a little bit. Who asked? Somebody asked. The back of your wolf, Susan Madi asked, is the back of your wolf hollow or solid?
It's hollow, but yeah, it's hollow. But that depends on what people want to do.
And the other question is those punches that she has over here, they're typically in the scrapbooking section, and they're border punches. Yeah. I have quite a few of them. You're better off, you can, like the one that Kim uses in her tutorial for the bracelet is actually a Martha Stewart one.
Yeah, that's Martha.
They don't make it anymore. They don't make it anymore, and I bought it secondhand.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. So, yeah, they're all Martha Stewart. Martha Stewart, is they still being made or not?
Martha Stewart's are still being made, but what they do is they retire border designs after a while.
Yeah. So you'll get different ones, but you can still use the similar process to it anyway. So I hope I have stopped pixelating. Okay.
Yes, you're better.
Yeah, cool. All right. Any other? We can just go straight into this next section.
What's our next section?
Okay. When do we need to use the Superflex pen?
The flex. Right.
All right. Okay. All right. So I've got myself some clay spray, and I probably So what I will do is kind of roughly guess how much I've got here, and it says for about 10 grams of clay, it's about 2 drops. So if I've got this, these are all a broken, like not the broken piece, but I broke them like this in pieces, ready to show you. So I've just broken them up into small pieces, put them on a plastic. It's enough. And I'm just going to add 2 drops into that.
And why are you doing?
Okay, so that's a Superflex pen. So the Superflex pen, when you dry your piece, out in your dehydrator, you will start to exhaust some of your Superflex component in it. And so what I've done is now I'm actually regenerating. Is that a good word? Regenerating. Rejuvenating. That's a better word. Rejuvenating the flex. Rejuvenating the flax, as well as now I'm going to use a clay spray to rehydrate. Again, the hydrate will give you will add anything that's been removed from it, whether it's and it'll also help stable if you've got oils that have gone in it as well. So it will kind of stabilize everything and bring it all back together, very much like it was when you first got it out of the pack. All right, so then all I do now is just massage that in, sit it aside, come back, and then I may need to put in another couple of spritz of this, or I may be good at what I've already just done. Okay, and but you just need to let that little soften up a little bit, and pretty much if I'd done this at the beginning, they'll showed you at the end, it probably would have been all in clay. So all I do is do this, sit it aside, and come back in 10-15 minutes and roll it out again, and check it out and see where it's up to. So that's my clay spray. Any questions on the clay stay? Excuse me while I... So that's the Superflex pen. That's what I use it for. And the clay spray and how that's been used.
I'm trying to post a picture in the chat, but it's not letting me do it.
No, I don't. I've tried to do that and it's not allowed me to do it neither.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, it doesn't allow you to do it on there. So
no.
Anybody got any questions? I've given you a load of stuff today, quite exciting. So any sort of questions, or what's your thought on any of this? So what do you think about the new silver clay, silver copper? What do you think? Is it definitely...
Everybody seems to be, so I don't have to grind it up into powder. No, you don't. The Aussie metal clay, you don't have to grind up into powder. No
powder. Just break it up into small bits. Just simple. Keep it simple. Maybe without sounding like I'm simple, a word how we can use simple, but I'm a simple. Just keep simple things easy, and just all you just do is just crush it straight up. Just break it up into small bits, and I can actually just start to show you. It's already coming down right now to a clay. I can feel a couple of bigger pieces, but it's not going to be long before, look at that, before it's back into a clay form and it can be used again.
The one thing I will say, and a lot of people don't probably know how I accidentally found Aussie metal clay. Like purely accidentally found Aussie metal clay. And I had ordered some silver, and then I had ordered packets of the base metals, and even the silver. I actually never used 999 silver until 2 months ago. I've always used 960. Yes, the silver copper does have nickel in it.
Yes.
The snow white and the silver copper has nickel in it.
Yes.
And so even sorry,
just to jump across you will actually see it written on the label here. Contains nickel. All right. So on all of the labels, inside the pack, also on the little yellow label, nickel. So you're not going to miss it. You'll know it. It's not been a hidden fact. It has nickel on this, and it has nickel on that, and it has nickel on the instructions. So just it gives you forewarning. Okay. Sorry, Joe.
Yeah, so when I first got my packet of clay, I was another brand girl, and I still do like that other brand. However, I like Aussie metal clay better for a couple of reasons. Even when you first take it out of the packet, the way it feels different. The table time is different. But the most important thing to me was this particular brand of clay when it came to rehydrating was a freaking nightmare. So that's the one thing I will say that immediately, besides when I first opened it, like you can feel the difference. It's the rehydrating. It's so much easier. So much easier.
Yeah. And that was
these are all of my, oh, I'm backwards here. These are all of my jars of clay. And just here's a little tip, because I have well, I have 2 grandchildren. I use these little Play-Doh things to put my scraps in. I also use, these are pea cups. Yeah.
Yeah, I got little pea cups too, but also too, for you guys who are new, a kitchen sponge. Pop in your kitchen sponge, slightly damp. Pop your clays into that, and you can just make up out of just a recycled jar. I've just got written on the label what's in it, and yeah, so just do any sort of brand, doesn't matter. It's just a glass jar, has a good seal, so any like jams or anything that came in with any of these, they're really great for that. So it costs you next to nothing to do that, apart from obviously a little sponge, and recycle your jars.
Kim, so you said that the silver bronze is stronger than the white copper. No, sorry. The silver copper is stronger than the snow white copper.
Hands, hang on.
Right. But structurally,
yes.
So could you make a substantial sized piece with the silver bronze without having any other thing for structure?
Okay, so you're saying bronze, or you're saying copper? I just want to answer correctly.
Copper.
You just said bronze, so I'll just try to.
I know, we keep saying copper. I'm saying bronze.
We keep going. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to hold it up because then we know we're not mixing up. Let me get the bigger pack so we can. All right. Yeah. So I'm holding it up only just so we're referring to this one.
Silver copper. Can you make a fairly large piece without any other additional color for support?
That was the bonus. That was no support needed for this because we can actually bend it. All right.
Okay, so does that answer your question, Susan?
Yeah, that was
MDY are her initials. Okay, good. Thank you. That's not your last name. So we'll just call her Susan M, because that was confusing me. Susan
yeah,
M.
Yeah. I was really wrapped. That's what I was blown away from. Now, I'm so excited because while I did the warrior and did all her, and I can get her out. Maybe as I said, we'll do a little bit of show and tell if you would like in the next one. Some of the stuff I've done, talk about some of the process I've done, and I can get out my bigger pieces. But I'm so excited because this is what I've been aiming for. I've had to be, semi careful and make sure I did my pieces, shivers, and not drop them in the snow white copper. While it was what we had at the time, it's still stunning. It is a slightly darker in color, but it is absolutely
I'll
beautiful.
be right back.
Yeah, and but I had to make them thick to like we do with the silver bronze. So but I couldn't do a major structure like I would do with say 960. But I can't afford my structured pieces. I've got my little thing here. So just say, let me grab over. I'll grab over. Say, let me grab out. I can grab out horse. I'll push this aside and I'll show you. So just say I wanted to do this in silver. Could you imagine this done in silver? I'm like, oh my gosh. So now while I've got, you know, a piece that is a 3D piece, I have got a piece now that can actually literally support its own weight. I can do tiny, thin, like the thin pieces on the wings and ears without having to worry about them snapping off. I can do this in silver. And the only opportunity that we actually had in the past was do 960, and I couldn't afford it. So now I've got a cheaper clay that I can afford, going to give me the same, you know, the same benefits. I can get the same benefits now out of everything that I've been able to get with the bronzes. So this is a ruby bronze, one of my favorites. I love ruby bronze. Unfortunately, it's not as this is not high polish. This is a satin at this stage. So it's not a high polish, but I probably will come back and I'll give it another high polish on it, because it was never polished. The little moon or sun, depending on where it is, it all moves, and I've got little earrings that are on the back of it. But yeah, so ruby is just stunning, as well as a clay, just as gold bronze is. I mean, they all are.
Kim, what color is closest? Sorry, I had a message. What color is closest to rose gold? Is that ruby?
Yeah, no, desert. Desert's closest to desert is closest to it. So that's the gold bronze, but that's been shined. That's shined up. But that's gold bronze with silver bronze on that. So all the little CZs which you can't see, I don't believe you can see, are all insetted into it. This was the piece that I showed you early during the week of last week, which was done in the silver copper. As I said, this just opens up a field that I had no way of being able to produce something this big in a silver clay, and that will support. And this is where this field will completely open, as long as you can handle the. I don't have any problems with nickel. I don't create a lot of dust, but as I said, just make sure that you do your protective wear and all the rest of it. I don't have any reactions on my skin, and I have been using this for as whether it's a snow white copper, yeah, but it only has a very, very small amount of nickel. So that's one of the other benefits to it.
Her clouds were made on the Cricut, right? You made
Yeah,
some
these
clouds
are
on the Cricut.
Yeah, these are Cricut. That's all hand. These are the posts are all hand carved, and let me tell you, without a flex clay, you will find that almost impossible, because what happens is you'll snap it. And so the benefits, again, that's why all these clays are innovated by me, because as a sculptor, I can't do some things, and that's what I've said to Roz over the years. I can't do these things because I keep snapping them. So as an artist, I'm frustrated because I can't get the clay to do what I do. So the development has occurred because I wanted to increase my techniques, and I mean, you guys get to benefit from that. Never at any stage, as I said, that this is my love. This is what I want to do. And because I developed something, Roz goes, well, there'll be plenty of people out there that are in the same situation. So to have this,
right,
have this and this.
But I want to say something quick. The really cool thing about this clay is you can use it to sculpt. But if you're like me and we don't have Kim's talents quite yet, which will take us 47 years to get, but it can be used for pendants, it can be used for bracelets, it can be used for earrings. So it's multi-purpose, that for the kind of artist that you are, this clay is amazing. Whether it's sculpting, whether it's texturing, whether it's making simple things, whether it's making more complex things. So it was an overall clay for everyone, no matter what your
Whatever your
level
skills
is.
are. Yeah, that's
So
correct.
it's not just made for people that sculpt. It's made for
Mm,
everything in between, soup to nuts,
mm.
A to B, A to Z, but not A to B, A to Z.
Completely agree. Yeah, there's and the sculpt, as I said, the sculptures I'm going to get to be able to do, but as Joe said, it comes right from the rolling out from textures through to molds, through to just hand carving if you want to do a bit of hand carving, um, right through then to your crickets and into your sculpting. They're kind of the directions that I have been in my whole life, where that's where I started. A roll out, created a texture, whether it was from a leaf, and that's where I started. I started like probably majority of you guys. I started with the leaf and the texture. Then I built up from, doing molds, and then I moved on from carving out some of those molds to give a greater detail. And then I started to get more confidence and built that up. Moved into the cricket because it was a good opportunity to create some other different designs. Yeah, so it's about step by step. Roz and I were talking the other night, we were on here live, and we are just saying how that each person has their own path. You can't compare it with me. Don't compare your path with my path. This is how I've grown over the years, and you will too. But it takes practice, so that's the key. As I said the other week, somebody asked give me a hint. The hint is practice. If you want to be a good violinist, practice. If you want a piano, want to sing, you want to run a marathon, practice. And it takes dedication of about 2 to 3 days, at least minimum a week, to sit down, roll out your clay. If you're not 100% sure, am I rolling this 2 cards thin? Because I'm doing a bezel, I need it 2 cards thin. Use a pair of calipers to measure and check. It's about going step by step and covering each level. And as you do, you'll go up and up and up to greater things where you can to sculpt, to do other. I mean, the world's the limit, really. It's not about just sculpting. It's not about any really of it. It's about your journey and you stepping up and taking it one step at a time. And as I said, don't compare yourself with someone. I'm never going to get there. But what I want you to do is be inspired. Each time you see someone's design, it's about being inspired. Inspire yourself by looking at somebody's piece and going, wow, I'm not there yet, but I'm going to be there very soon because I'm spending the time dedicating, practicing. I got it that some of you guys want to sell your stuff, and there's no problems with selling your stuff, but make sure what you sell is also you're spending some time to practice. So practice and practice until, I can say that until I'm blue in the face, but yeah.
I just a couple of things that I want to say, but I have to find what I'm looking for before I say it. Okay, so here's an example. All right, so before I could only use textures. Uh-oh. Yeah, textures and this is like, so this, you're going to think that this is weird, but it's okay. So this is what I started out with.
Hold it back towards near the light, Susan. So, Susan. Joe? Yeah, that's it.
This is what I started out with. This was the beginning of my very first carved clay anything, which then, I don't know if you can see it, became a koi fish.
Just move it back a little bit, just so you can pick up that light. That's it. That's better. Yeah. Isn't that just
so? Yeah. So that started out as that. That was my template that I worked off of. This, a little piece of cardstock, and I did it, which turned into, I don't know where the bigger one is because I ended up making a mold for him. So I this particular piece, which I'm still not done with, has pushed my buttons on everything. Having said that, though, we have a couple of things here, Kim. Pam Jones, which clays will handle a cuff bracelet, and would you shape the cuff before firing or after firing? Can I answer this?
You can. You can. You've got a lot of experience.
The 960 silver for sure. The 960 silver, not any of the bronzes or the coppers. 999, you can silver, but if it's going to take a lot of wear and tear, I would stick with the 960. The bronzes, you can do it with all of the bronzes except for the silver bronze, and you can do it with the silver copper and the regular copper, but not the white bronze copper, or the white, Jesus, the white, snow white copper. To answer the questions, the 960 silver, you can bend after firing, but if you're making a break, I would try to pre-bend them if you're not like really familiar with reheating your piece, because once you start to bend it, it's going to break unless you, what is it called? Oh my God. What is it called, Kim? When you reheat your piece?
Yeah, work
Nope.
harden. What?
Nope.
Nope.
When you bend it so it doesn't break, you have to heat it again.
Yeah, so you
Why
don't
is this not?
harden. So what? We just,
What's it called?
I don't know. I don't know what you're calling it.
When you have a piece of metal that you've worked and you still need to
Yeah.
work it, but you need to
You got to soften it. I only use the word soften, but I don't know.
anneal.
Word. I wasn't thinking it neither.
Holy cow! Annealing. Thanks, Cindy. Cindy's like annealing. I totally had. I used to be a blonde. Now I'm a redhead. But anyways,
Oh
it
no,
gets a little tricky if you're not familiar with annealing. So I would try to bend as much as you can ahead of time. And you can bend the bronzes except for the silver bronze, and you can bend the coppers except for the snow white copper. And hopefully that answers your question. And I will actually post a picture that I did with it was gold bronze, I think.
Yes, it was.
I'll have to look at it. It was. And I made a bracelet out of one of those border punches. And Kim couldn't believe, because I think it was like the second thing I ever did. And Kim's like, oh Jesus. So
yes,
so
yes,
I will.
She definitely took a big challenge on her hand with doing that, because being a newbie to it, and she takes on. I know I did forewarn her. Look, it is probably more suited to somebody who's in the media, but she said, I'm stubborn, I'll get in there and I'll get it. She got it after quite a few practices, but she got it, which is
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah. Note to self, after stage 1, when you put something in your firing pan, do not push down on it.
Yes. Yes, don't do that.
Yeah, I did that. So all right, so that was all I had to say about that. And then the other question was, are there courses available to learn to use this clay when COVID-19 is over? Kim has quite a few tutorials on AussieMetalClay.com. Rosalind is in the process of putting a technique certification video together. Hopefully that'll be done fairly soon. It's a lot. I mean, and it's big, so it's taking a while. And Kim will be announcing, if she hasn't already, she's going to be doing some classes as well, beginner classes.
Yeah, so I'm doing I'm launching that this weekend, and Roz has actually put it up, so I'm actually doing the classes in conjunction with Roz, and again, so to help you beginners, or if you feel that you're not completely confident, and I'm going to take about 4 people per class. And we're just going to go over, how to set up your kiln, how to roll out, and a lot of, in anything that you kind of go, oh, I'm stuck, or I'm not sure about, we're going to go over that. And it's a 4 weeks, so it's an hour class each week for 4 weeks, and then we'll be troubleshooting anything that comes through. Now I always do an hour. Don't ever listen to me on an hour. Make sure you've got somewhere between an hour and a half, 2 hours up your sleeve. is a possibility. We're still kind of yapping because we're going over some problems and re-going over and re-going over. So this is a chance for you to work with me one-on-one, live, because I'll be doing it live, and we'll be just going over all the beginner stuff right through as far as we can, like, that you need to, you know, whether it's molds or whether you want to work in findings or whatever we're going to do. So we'll just agree in a little group on what is needed, and then I will definitely, but we're going to be going from beginning through. So if anybody's interested, it will be up on the website, and I will it will be announced on the group. So that will be with me for 4 weeks, and it starts not this week, I think the following week. I don't have the date up my sleeve yet, but the following week I think it starts. So any questions, Joe?
Yeah. Susan Tolman asked, how do you support a bracelet in the kiln? My response to that was, when I did mine, I laid mine sideways and I put some kiln blanket in the middle.
Yep.
Kim does it. She also puts the little screen over it.
Yep.
So it's not pressed on the bracelet. Can you use vermiculite with 999 and 960?
Yeah, you can use that, but I've done some testings with that, and I actually enjoy the talc powder or the cornstarch even more so. Heaps easier, heaps nicer, and I actually have just brought, and I know that you guys have been watching, but this is my little dog just out of the kiln, and so he's out of the kiln, and my little koala. Let's see if that's just going to focus. There we go. So they're just out of the kiln. I just got them out this morning, and yeah, and they just kind of just sit them in powder, and I don't have any stresses from it because the powder will move as those pieces move and shrink. There's no stress from that. If you add just literally straight kiln blanket, vermiculite, I actually found that on the 960, because of the higher temperature, it tended to stick to the back of it. And yeah, I mean, it will just flick off, but it was more like it just left some marks on it, because the vermiculite seemed to, well, at least the stuff I've got here wasn't that. It's clean, but it seems to have some sort of leftover stuff on it, and it was coming on my pieces, and I had to really give it a good clean. So
you can use cornstarch, right?
yeah, use cornstarch or talcum powder. Any talcum powder, but just look like any powder. Don't breathe it. You know, take your precautions. The same with your carbon. Take precaution. Don't breathe it. Wear a mask if that's what you do. Yeah, if you're going to pour it out, I have mine in my container here, 24/7. It's in here, and it will change in color when you use it. I just pat it down flat with a little it's like a knifey thing. What do you call them? I can't even think. I'll show you. God, they're getting a full load today, aren't they? Yeah, so I just pat it flat like this. It's a bit like, you know, layering it in nice and flat. I'm not disturbing. I'm not causing any dust or anything. All right, so I just do that. Just tap that down. So it'll give me a nice little flat area. And then all I do, and I'll just use my little koala, and I literally just poke in, because it's got a bail on the back. It's got a bail on the back. So I just literally gently just tap that in very carefully. I will put a little bit of kiln blanket just underneath the leaf to keep that supported. And but that's it. That's all I do. Comes out. It has a little bit of the powder on the back. I just, you know, brush that off with a dust. But again, you know, because I'm not literally moving this about, then I'm not creating any dust from it. So once you get it in your container, this getting into your container, making sure, do that outside if you want to stay safe away from talc powder. But here we are. I don't know about you, but I put talc powder all over the kids. You know, this is before we even knew there was any sort of issue. And I'm not saying that there is an issue. A lot of powders are made from that don't have any asbestos. That's where the problem comes in. Some of the mines that have that produce talc powder come from asbestos polluted mines, or however it is. And so what you do is I can't guarantee that it's not, but you know, just be careful. So whether you use talc powder, use cornstarch, anything like that, it's a similar process. Okay. So, but I love it. That's in my little crucible, and I have that. I use that all the time. I've probably used that 10 or 12 times now, and it just doesn't stress my clays, and it doesn't cause any fractures. I've used kiln blanket before, and it's caused fractures on it because it hasn't allowed it a direction to move. It hasn't allowed it to move because it was kind of stuck, not literally stuck to it, but I'm just saying it just was in a more formed structure. But also too, that if you do put it in kiln blanket, and you can add a layer of talc on top of that, and that what will do is actually it will roll, meaning that as the clay moves and shrinks inwards, then so using a structure of a kiln blanket, popping your piece onto a piece of kiln blanket, pop in some powder, as I said, whether it's the cornstarch or talc powder. And what that will do now is if there's any sort of shrinkage happening, it will then stop any sort of stress, clay stress, and causing fracture. So I hope that makes sense. As I said, you guys are getting so much information today. You're going to have brain overload. Back to you, Joe.
Back to you, Joe. Let's see. I think we've covered all of the questions. I am going to put up, let's see, the only one that messes me up is Anna. I don't know. I'm going to put up the links to where to buy Aussie metal clay. Just want to reiterate, if you are in the US and you're ordering from the US, the only people that have the new Ultimate Premium Clay is me and Cindy. Having said that, there is nothing wrong with the older clays.
That's right.
It's just not going to do all the things that the Ultimate Premium. I have tons of old clay. Cindy has tons of old clay that we still use. There's nothing wrong with it. Nothing. But if you are specifically looking for the Ultimate Premium in the US, it's only me and Cindy. No one else, not Cool Tools, no one else, and no one else is going to have them. So
you're looking for the gold packet. That's what you're looking for.
No, I was going to grab. I don't even know what I was reaching for. I don't know what I was doing. I'm looking for. Right. They're in the gold packet. They're not black packets. I got it now. If it's not in the gold packet and it's a black packet, that's the older clay.
That's correct.
All right. So I am going to, if you are in the UK, I always talk and type at the same time, even like if I'm talking to anybody. I'm speaking when I'm typing.
To yourself. Yeah. Anybody got any other questions while Joe pops in those links? Yeah. So I hope that answered your question, Pam, about the 960 and the 999. Yes, it can be. But I have found the powder and the cornstarch better. I like the talc powder. That's where I started, and I'm still stuck with that. I love it. And so, Terry, have a good dinner. And all right. So, any other questions? Otherwise, I think we've covered everything, and I'm really pleased. So, as I said, I'm blown away. So, look out for one of my up and coming designs in silver. Oh my gosh, can you imagine it? I'm
yeah. Not confuse people.
Sorry?
Yeah, silver. As to not confuse people.
Yeah, silver. I will get my label out, so I'm not going to confuse anybody. this is what I'm going to sculpt in next. As I said, I can't wait. I'm just biting at the bit because this is the first time I'm going to be able to have a silver that can hold its own structure, to be able to do this rather than using a 960 or a 999, which I couldn't afford. So for me, this is a breakthrough for me because now it will hold its own self. That is just, for me, it's, oh my gosh, that is as most exciting as having the flex clay when it first came out. That is so exciting to have the origami when that first came out. That was and these are all kind of these little steps that we've gone along. It's just incredible to think that now I've got a structured silver piece that, you know, that will hold its own self. And I can co-fire. I can co-fire it with any. I can co-fire this with copper. So again, I will show you. Oh, I don't know if she's.
I'm going to interrupt you for a second.
Yeah.
Beth, there's 2 videos. This is the second video of the night.
Yes.
They're both on the Aussie Play Business page, and they'll be up there so you can rewatch it.
Yes. All right. So I'm just going to get out my lady. She's kind of in one here. But to think that I can sculpt, and I'm only just showing you as an example. This is white copper, snow white copper. Let me grab the lid and pop that back on there so you can see her better. This is snow white copper and copper together, right? And I had to be very careful on how I, whoops, it's falling over. How I structured this together, because I had to make some of the pieces thick because of the not supporting itself. But now I can literally do a solo piece just with all silver and adding highlights of copper. I mean, I even had to do her. She's actually done in gold bronze. She's actually a gold bronze piece underneath her there. So yeah, and we'll talk next time about all of this, you know, the sculptures and things that we can do. So yeah, okay, you're all good to go, Joe.
We are all good to go.
Yep.
I think
I will. If we got good clean.
You're frozen.
Going off again. On the sides
yeah,
here,
you're back.
you can see two-tone color. All right, on the sides there, all on a skirt, it's all two-tone color. And that's been mixed together. The same with this staff, it's two-tone colors. And again, I had to be really careful on how much snow white copper I used compared with that. This is literally just whacked in together, like the two colors, the copper and the snow white copper color. It gave me a two-tone feather color. So as I said, to have a structure where I can just do it all in silver, I'm coming. I'm going. I'm so wrapped. This is the bracelet that I did from it. So that's the bracelet. This is her bow. Her bow.
You're frozen.
People messaging me. Yeah, you can see there the two-tone colors there, and but I also did the snow white copper. Everything is actually made. Even the links are all made from clay. They're not metal. They were never metal. They were all made from clay. So this is actually one piece, and so it was actually put in the kiln as one piece. So it's for me, this is really mind-blowing, and I'm so excited. So yeah, I hope you're as excited as I am. I can't wait to do some pieces. So, but next time we'll talk a little bit more thorough about all of this. But that's to show you just some of the things that are coming up. Joe, over to you.
Thank you. I feel like we're on a newscast. And Kim, back to you. And Joe, back to you. Yeah. So thank you for joining us tonight. Same place, same time next week. This week's technological difficulties were better. Hopefully, next week they'll be even better and we don't have any buffering. And as always, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask any of us. And as Rosalind would say, there would be no Aussie Metal Play without you. So, and us, me, because I'm you.
Yep.
And thank you, Kim, for all that you do. Thank you to all of the on-sellers, Cindy, Anna, me, for
Yes,
bringing it around the world. And we'll see you guys next week.
we will.
Bye.
Catch ya. Bye. Have a great day.